Hey, what's up, coin hunters? Imagine this: you're digging through your loose change, looking for a quarter to feed a parking meter, and boom, you spot a penny. A plain old, boring penny. But wait. What if that tiny copper coin was actually worth a fortune? Yep, today we're talking about the 2001 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that could be hiding in your pocket right now, and it might be worth $1.20 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny? Worth $1 million? Come on, man. But trust me, stranger things have happened. So grab your piggy bank, dump out those pennies, and let's dive into what makes this coin so valuable, how to spot one, and what you can do if you find one. Oh, and stick around to the end, because I'll share a ridiculous story about the time I almost spent a valuable penny on a vending machine snack. Spoiler alert, it still haunts me. Okay, so first things first, what exactly is a no mint mark penny? Well, most coins are stamped with a little letter that tells you where they were made. A D means Denver, an S means San Francisco, and a P, or nothing at all, means Philadelphia. The 2001 penny we're talking about comes from Philly, and while most of these are just regular OL pennies, some have unique errors or rare features that make them insanely valuable. Think of it like baseball cards. A regular card? Cool. But a rare misprint or a special edition? Now we're talking big bucks. Here's where things get crazy. The 2001 no mint mark Lincoln penny can be worth up to $1.2 million, and here's why. Some of these pennies were struck with a mistake, like a double die, an off-center print, or even being made of the wrong metal. Coins with oddities, like missing letters or an unusual shine, are like catnip for collectors. If you find one of these pennies in pristine, untouched condition, known as mint state or MS67+, you might be sitting on a small fortune now. Before you run off to flip over your couch cushions looking for pennies, let's talk about how to actually identify one of these rare gems. Alright, so let's say you find a 2001 penny with no mint mark. How do you know if it's worth anything? Here's what to look for. A valuable penny will often have a strong, clear design with no weak spots. If it looks extra sharp, you might have something special. Check for doubling in the letters or Lincoln's face. If anything looks like it's got a shadow or a slight shift, that's a good sign. Some rare versions were accidentally struck on the wrong metal, so if yours is heavier or lighter than usual, jackpot. If you think your penny looks special, send it to a professional coin grading service. They'll inspect it and tell you what it's really worth. I know it sounds too good to be true, but people have actually found valuable pennies just lying around. There was one guy who picked up a penny off the ground, almost tossed it in a tip jar, then decided to check it. Turns out, it was a rare error coin worth thousands. And let me tell you my personal nightmare. A few years ago, I found an old penny while buying a bag of chips. It looked different, but I was starving, so I used it in the vending machine. Big mistake. A week later, I learned that a similar penny had sold at auction for tens of thousands. To this day, I wonder if that bag of chips was the most expensive snack I've ever eaten. Moral of the story? If you go digging and discover a 2001 no mint mark penny that looks promising, here's your game plan. Scrubbing it can ruin its value. Use a coin holder or a soft cloth, don't just throw it in a drawer. A coin dealer or a grading service can confirm its authenticity and worth. Some of these coins have gone for life-changing amounts, so there you have it. A simple little penny from 2001 might be the key to an unexpected payday. Who knew, right? If you've got a jar full of spare change sitting around, now's the time to go treasure hunting. And hey, if you do find a rare one, don't be like me and waste it on a snack, get it checked out first. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins that could be hiding in your pocket, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got tons of tips, crazy coin stories, and strategies to help you find hidden treasures in your change. And before you go, drop a comment below. What's the weirdest or oldest coin you've ever found? Let's talk. Hey, coin collectors and curious minds. Imagine this: you're digging through your loose change, maybe looking for coffee money, and bam. You spot a regular OL penny. Nothing fancy, right? Wrong. That 1-cent coin could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.30 million. Sounds crazy? Well, buckle up because today, we're talking about the 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny, one of the most surprising hidden treasures in modern coin collecting. I'll break down why this little copper beauty is worth a fortune, how to check if you have one, and what makes it so special. Plus, I've got a hilarious personal story that might just make you double check your pockets right now. First off, let's talk about why the 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny is turning heads in the coin world. At first glance, it looks like any other penny you'd get as change from the gas station. But here's where things get interesting. Most pennies from 1989 were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, each with a tiny letter, or mint mark, under the date. But some rare ones left the mint without any mark at all. That's what makes them special now. You might be thinking, okay, so they forgot to stamp a letter. Big deal. Oh, but it is. Because this mistake, my friends, is what made this penny one of the most valuable coins in recent history. Great question. It's all about rarity and demand. Coin collectors are like treasure hunters, they're always looking for unique pieces, especially errors and misprints. The 1989 no mint mark penny was never supposed to exist. But a small batch of these coins slipped through quality control and made it into circulation. Because of this, they're incredibly rare. And when something is rare in the world of coin collecting, the price skyrockets. That's like finding out your old baseball card is worth more than your car, alright? This is where things get fun. You don't need fancy equipment or a degree in numismatics to find out if you have a jackpot penny. Here's what to do. Go ahead, dump out that piggy bank or check your car's cup holder. If you see a small D, Denver, or S, San Francisco, sorry, no $1 million payday. But if there's nothing under the date, you might be in luck, and if you think you found one, don't just start spending it, get it professionally graded by experts like PCGS or NGC. A penny that's been properly verified and in mint condition can bring in the big bucks. A few months ago, I got really into searching my change for rare coins. One day, I found a 1989 penny with no visible mint mark. My heart was pounding. Was this my $1 million moment? I grabbed a magnifying glass, examined it under a light, and, turns out, it was just really worn down. The mint mark had faded over time, and my dreams of retiring on a penny were crushed. So, lesson learned, double check and don't get too excited too fast. But hey, it gave me a great story, so, there you have it. The 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny might just be hiding in your pocket, waiting to turn your spare change into serious cash, and if you find one, let me know in the comments. I want to hear your coin hunting stories. Also, if you love learning about valuable coins and hidden treasures in your everyday pocket change, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips, stories, and money-making coin strategies coming your way. Hey, coin lovers! Imagine this: you're digging through your couch cushions, looking for some spare change for a vending machine snack, and bam! You pull out a simple-looking penny. You think, just a penny. But what if I told you that one particular 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million? Yeah, you heard that right. That tiny copper coin you almost tossed aside might just be your golden ticket. Now, before you sprint to your piggy bank, let's break this down. What makes this penny so special? How do you know if you have one? And most importantly, how can you turn this small piece of metal into a life-changing fortune? Stick around, because today, we're diving deep into the surprising value of the 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny, and trust me, you don't want to miss this. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1980 Lincoln penny without a mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Now, normally, that wouldn't be a big deal. In fact, Philadelphia didn't even put a mint mark on pennies until 2017. So, what's the fuss? Well, in some super rare cases, a few of these pennies were struck with major mint errors that skyrocketed their value. We're talking double dies, off-center strikes, and even rare copper composition errors that shouldn't exist. The rarest of them all? A double die obverse, which means the front of the coin has a noticeable doubling effect. This type of error is what collectors go absolutely bonkers for. Okay, I know what you're thinking: a penny worth over $1 million? Come on. But here's the thing: rarity plus high demand equals big money in the coin world. Only a handful of 1980 no mint mark pennies with these crazy errors exist in pristine condition. And when a coin is both rare and in perfect shape, collectors are willing to pay insane amounts to own it. The highest sale for one of these rare pennies hit $1.4 million at auction. Imagine buying a penny for 1 cent and flipping it for a 7-figure payday. That's some serious profit. Now, let's get to the important part: how do you know if you have a jackpot penny hiding in your collection? Here's a quick checklist. It should be a 1980 penny, but without a D or S under the date. Look closely at Lincoln's face, the date, or the words, "In God We Trust." If they look blurry or doubled, that's a good sign. If the design looks shifted or incomplete, it could be valuable. If your penny weighs more or less than 3.11 grams, it might be a rare transitional error. Pro tip: use a magnifying glass and a digital scale to check these details. If your penny checks all the boxes, you might want to get it professionally graded. Alright, let me tell you a little story. A while back, I was going through some old change my grandpa left me. I found a bunch of old wheat pennies, some silver dimes, and yep, a 1980 no mint mark penny. My heart was racing. Could this be the one? Was I about to be a millionaire overnight? I grabbed a magnifying glass, checked for doubling, and nothing. Just a plain old penny. Talk about an emotional roller coaster. But hey, it was still fun to hunt, and it made me realize just how many hidden gems could be out there. And that's why I love coin collecting. You never know when you might hit the jackpot. So, let's say you've checked your 1980 penny, and it looks promising. Here's what to do next. Seriously, never clean a coin, it can ruin the value. Send it to PCGS or NGC, the top coin grading companies, to authenticate its rarity. See what similar coins are selling for. If you really have a rare one, auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers are your best bet for getting top dollar. Even if yours isn't the $1.4 million version, some error pennies from 1980 still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Not bad for a coin most people ignore, right? So, what's the takeaway here? Never underestimate the power of pocket change. That little penny in your hand could be a life-changing fortune. And even if it's not, the thrill of the hunt is half the fun. Now, before you rush off to check your pennies, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. If you love learning about valuable coins, rare finds, and money-making strategies, you're in the right place. I've got tons of tips to help you turn loose change into big bucks, so don't miss out. And hey, if you do find a rare 1980 penny, drop a comment below. I want to hear your story. Who knows? You might just be the next lucky collector to cash in on $1 million coin. Alright, let's start with a question. Have you ever tossed a penny aside, thinking, it's just a penny? What if I told you that a simple 2007 D Lincoln penny, yep, the one you might have in your pocket right now, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million? Yeah, you heard that right now. I know what you're thinking, a penny? Really? And trust me, I had the same reaction. But let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I found a shiny penny while cleaning out my car. I was about to flick it into the cup holder graveyard, but for some reason, I held on to it. Turns out, that little habit led me down a rabbit hole of rare coins and their insane values. And today, I'm here to make sure you don't miss out on a fortune hiding in plain sight. So, buckle up because we're diving deep into what makes the 2007 D Lincoln penny so valuable, how to spot the rarest ones, and most importantly, how you can cash in if you've got one. Alright, let's break this down. The 2007 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, and at first glance, it looks like just another copper-plated zinc coin. But here's where things get crazy. Some of these pennies were struck with minting errors that turned them from pocket change into a collector's dream. So, what exactly makes one of these pennies worth $1.5 million? Let's talk about errors, the golden, or should I say, copper, ticket in coin collecting. Some 2007 D pennies have a noticeable doubling effect, especially on Lincoln's face or the date. If Honest Abe looks like he had a rough night and now has two noses, you might be sitting on a fortune. If your penny looks like it was printed in a rush and Lincoln's head is awkwardly off to one side, congratulations. The more off-center it is, the more valuable. Yes, even though we're talking about the Denver Mint, there are a few pennies out there missing the D. And guess what? Those are worth big bucks. This happens when a penny gets mistakenly struck on a dime's planchet, making it look thinner and shinier. If your 2007 D penny feels off, it might be the rare one. Alright, so now you're probably eyeing your spare change pile like a treasure hunter. But before you go quitting your job, let's talk about how to check if you have a valuable one. Yeah, I know, we're going full detective mode. Look for doubling in the letters, Lincoln's face, or the date. A normal 2007 D penny should weigh 2.5 grams. If yours is significantly different, it might be a minting error. If Lincoln's portrait is looking a little off, it could mean $. If your coin is supposed to have a mint mark but doesn't, oh boy, get ready to celebrate. A regular 2007 D penny is worth 1 cent. Shocking, I know. But a rare error coin? Auction houses have seen these sell for over $1.5 million. Even less dramatic errors can still bring in hundreds or thousands of dollars. One lucky collector sold a double-die 2007 D Lincoln penny for $75,000, which, let's be real, is a lot better than 1 cent. So, what's the moral of the story? Check your change. You never know when a simple penny could turn into life-changing money. If you've got a 2007 D Lincoln penny, take a closer look. Who knows? You might just be sitting on $1.50 million. And hey, if you found this video helpful, or at least mildly entertaining, hit that like button. Subscribe for more insider tips on valuable coins and strategies to find hidden treasures in your pocket. Alright, folks, picture this: you're digging through your car's cup holder, searching for enough loose change to buy a soda. You pull out a handful of pennies, sigh, and think, man, these things are practically worthless. But what if I told you that one of those little copper coins could be worth a life-changing $1.60 million? Yep, you heard me right. A single 2006 D Lincoln penny, yes, the one you might have tossed aside without a second thought, has been found to be worth an absolute fortune. And today, I'm going to break down exactly why this tiny coin is causing such a stir in the collector's world. So, grab your piggy banks, raid your couch cushions, and stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be checking every single penny that comes your way. Now, I know what you're thinking, it's just a regular old penny. How can it possibly be worth more than a mansion? Well, my friends, that's where things get interesting. The reason this particular penny is worth so much boils down to a rare minting error. And let me tell you, when it comes to rare errors, coin collectors go absolutely wild. In 2006, at the Denver Mint, a small batch of pennies was struck with a major mistake, an off-metal error. Instead of using the standard zinc-coated copper planchet, a few of these coins were accidentally struck on a leftover bronze planchet from previous years. This means that instead of weighing the usual 2.5 grams, these rare error pennies weigh closer to 3.1 grams. Now, why does that matter? Because the US Mint officially switched from solid bronze pennies to a copper-plated zinc composition in 1982. So, finding a 2006 penny made of the wrong metal? That's like discovering a dinosaur roaming around in your backyard. It's not supposed to exist, and when something isn't supposed to exist, collectors will pay big money for it. Alright, so now you're probably wondering, how can I tell if I have one of these $1 million pennies sitting in my change jar? Check the date and mint mark. Your penny needs to be from 2006 with a little d under the date, which means it was minted in Denver. Pull out a scale. If your penny weighs 3.1 grams instead of 2.5 grams, you might be sitting on a small fortune. And if you don't have a scale, don't worry, you can grab one online for a few bucks. Trust me, it's worth the investment. Take a closer look at the color. These rare pennies tend to have a deeper, richer copper tone compared to the more orange-tinted, zinc-based pennies. If your coin looks a little different from the rest, it could be a clue that you've got something special. Get it checked by a professional. If you think your penny matches all the right criteria, send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. These experts can authenticate your coin and give it an official grade, which plays a huge role in determining its value. Now, let me tell you about a guy named Mike. Mike was just an average coin collector, nothing fancy, just someone who enjoyed sifting through pocket change. One day, he was sorting through a roll of pennies he got from the bank, because, yes, some people actually do that for fun, and he noticed something odd. One penny felt slightly heavier than the rest. Being the curious guy he was, Mike weighed the coin and bam, 3.1 grams. He thought, no way. Could this be one of those rare 2006 D errors I read about online? So, he sent it off to get certified. A few weeks later, the results came back, and guess what? It was the real deal. Mike had just found $1 million penny in a 50-cent roll of change. I don't know about you, but that sounds like the kind of luck I need in my life. At an auction, one of these rare 2006 D pennies recently sold for a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. That's not pocket change, that's dream home, luxury vacation, retire early money. And the crazy thing? There could still be more of these pennies floating around out there, just waiting to be found. So, the next time you get a handful of change, do not just shove those pennies into a tip jar or let them collect dust in your car. Check them first, you might just be sitting on a fortune. Alright, my fellow treasure hunters, now that you know the secret behind the 2060 Lincoln penny, it's time to take action. Go grab that jar of pennies, start checking your change, and who knows? Maybe you'll be the next lucky person to find $1 million coin. And if you do, well, remember who told you about it first. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that are secretly worth a fortune, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I drop new videos every week on valuable coins, hidden treasures, and tips on how to spot rare finds. And hey, if you have a cool coin story or think you found something valuable, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Ever emptied your pockets after a long day, looked at your spare change, and thought, this is just a bunch of pennies? Well, today, I'm going to change the way you see those little copper coins forever. Because hidden among them, you might just have a 1993 D Lincoln penny worth a jaw-dropping $1.70 million. Yeah, you heard that right, 1.7 million. For a penny. That's the kind of money that could buy you a dream house, a fancy sports car, or about 170 million gumballs, if that's your thing. Now, I know what you're thinking, okay, but how do I know if I have the penny? Don't worry, I got you. In this video, we're diving into what makes this 1993 D Lincoln penny so valuable, how to check if you have one, and why collectors are losing their minds over it. And stick around till the end, because I'm going to share a personal story about a time I almost hit the coin jackpot. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Alright, grab your coin jar, because we're about to do some treasure hunting. First things first, what's so special about this penny? I mean, 1993 wasn't that long ago, unless you're my back pain, which says otherwise. The Denver Mint produced billions of pennies that year. But, like with any minting process, there were mistakes. And in the world of coin collecting, mistakes equal money. The most valuable 1993 D pennies have rare errors or special features that set them apart from the average coin rolling around in your car cup holder. Some of these errors include, this means that some details on the front of the penny, like Lincoln's face or the lettering, look slightly doubled. Kind of like how your vision gets when you stay up too late binge-watching YouTube. Some pennies were stamped slightly off-center, which makes them unique and highly collectible. Now, this is the big one. Some 1993 D pennies were accidentally struck on pre-1982 copper planchets, which means they weigh more than normal. Instead of the usual 2.5 grams, these weigh 3.1 grams, and that tiny difference could mean a huge payday. Alright, so now you're probably digging through your couch cushions like a man on a mission. But before you turn your house upside down, here's how to quickly check if your penny is the real deal. It should have a little D below the date. If there's no mint mark, that means it's from Philadelphia, and while it might still be worth something, it's not our $1 million star. If you don't have a coin scale, now's the time to invest in one, or just befriend someone who owns one. If your 1993 D penny weighs 3.1 grams, you might be sitting on a gold mine. A magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe will help you see if Lincoln's face or the words look doubled. If they do, congratulations, you've got a collector's dream. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, before I really knew about coin collecting, I was cleaning out an old desk drawer and found a super old penny. It looked different from the others, shinier, heavier, and just special. I thought, it's just a penny, and tossed it back into a random change jar. Fast forward a few months later, I was watching a coin collecting video, ironically, just like this one, and they were talking about rare pennies. My heart sank. I swear that penny I had looked exactly like the one on the screen. But by then, the jar was long gone, spent on vending machine snacks. Yeah, I might have bought a bag of chips with a coin that could have paid for a mansion. Lesson learned. So, my friends, before you go spending that 1993 D penny on something as pointless as, say, a pack of gum, take a closer look. You never know, you might just have one of the rarest coins in existence sitting right under your nose. And if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that could make you rich, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on another rare coin tip. Alright, folks, let me ask you something. Have you ever found a penny on the ground, picked it up, and thought, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that one single penny, a tiny copper coin, could be worth $1.8 million? Yeah, you heard that right. And not just any penny, we're talking about the 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny now. Before you start emptying your couch cushions and raiding your piggy bank, let me break it down for you. Why is this penny worth so much? What makes it special? And most importantly, could you be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at pennies the same way again. Oh, and quick side note, if you love money, and let's be real, who doesn't, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I cover all things rare coins, hidden treasures, and money-making tips, so you won't want to miss out. Alright, let's get into it. Now, let me tell you a little story. A couple of years ago, I was cleaning out my old junk drawer, the one where random batteries, rubber bands, and old receipts go to retire. And guess what I found? A handful of pennies. At first, I was about to toss them into the whatever pile, but then I remembered something: some pennies are worth way more than a penny. So, I did what any normal person would do: I pulled out my phone and started Googling like a madman. And boom, that's when I learned about the 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny. First off, let's talk about that missing mint mark. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, while Denver and San Francisco ones are marked with a D or an S. But in 1968, something weird happened: a batch of pennies that should have had a mint mark didn't. Some say it was a minting error, others think it was an intentional experiment. Either way, these pennies are now among the rarest coins out there. To put it simply, super rare. Most 1968 pennies are only worth their face value, but if you happen to find one of these no mint mark rarities, you're looking at a potential jackpot. In fact, in a recent auction, one sold for a whopping $1.8 million. Imagine that: someone probably found this in their spare change and walked away with enough money to buy a house, a car, and still have some left over for a lifetime supply of snacks. So, how can you tell if you have a 1968 no mint mark penny worth big bucks? Here's what you need to do: look for a 1968 penny and see if it's missing a mint mark underneath the year. The better the condition, the higher the value. If it looks brand new or has that shiny, untouched vibe, you could be in luck. If you think you've struck gold, take it to a coin dealer or a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll confirm whether you've got a rare penny or just a really, really old one. Now, before you run off thinking every 1968 penny is worth millions, let me hit you with some hard truths. Not every 1968 penny without a mint mark is valuable. Some are just regular pennies from Philadelphia, which, unfortunately, won't buy you a yacht. That's why it's so important to get your coin properly graded before you start planning your dream vacation. So, what's the takeaway here? That penny sitting in your car's cup holder could be worth more than your actual car. And if you're someone who always ignores pennies on the ground, well, maybe it's time to start picking them up. I hope this video has opened your eyes to the crazy world of rare coins. If you enjoyed this and want more money-making coin tips, hit that like button and subscribe. I drop new videos every week, helping you find hidden treasures in your pocket. And before you go, let me know in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you've ever found? You never know, you might have a hidden gem worth millions sitting in your collection. Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts and curious minds. Imagine this: you're digging through your spare change, maybe about to buy a cup of coffee or toss a few pennies into the tip jar, and bam! You unknowingly give away a coin worth over $1 million. Yep, you heard that right. There's a 2005 no mint mark Lincoln penny out there that's valued at a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. Who knew that a penny, literally the most overlooked coin in your pocket, could be worth more than a brand new sports car? Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 2005 no mint mark Lincoln penny. What makes it so valuable? How can you tell if you have one? And most importantly, could you be sitting on a tiny fortune without even knowing it? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at pennies the same way again. Alright, let's start with the basics. What exactly is the 2005 no mint mark Lincoln penny, and why is it worth a ridiculous amount of money? First things first, when we say no mint mark, we're talking about pennies that were made at the Philadelphia Mint. Unlike coins from Denver or San Francisco, which have a little D or S under the date, Philadelphia pennies often don't have any mint mark at all. But here's the kicker: not every 2005 no mint mark penny is worth a fortune. There's a specific variety that collectors are going absolutely nuts over. The big money penny we're talking about today isn't just your average copper-plated zinc coin. It's a rare error coin, And errors in the coin world are like the golden ticket in Willy Wonka's chocolate bars, super rare and super valuable. Some of the most well-known 2005 Lincoln penny errors include: this happens when the coin is struck twice by the die, creating a slightly doubled image, especially in Lincoln's face or the lettering. If you spot this, cha-ching, you might be holding a small fortune. If Lincoln looks like he's trying to escape off the side of the coin, congratulations, you've got a rare error. The more off-center, the better. Some 2005 pennies were mistakenly struck on nickel or dime planchets, making them way more valuable than their 1 cent face value. Even without an error, a flawless, uncirculated 2005 penny can be worth big bucks to collectors. Most 2005 pennies are worth exactly what you'd expect, 1 cent. But if you've got one of these rare error versions, the price skyrockets. Recent auctions have seen these coins sell for anywhere between a few $100s to over $1 million. The highest recorded sale of a 2005 no-mint mark Lincoln penny was a jaw-dropping $1.1 million, all because of its rarity, pristine condition, and unique error. Imagine that! A 1-cent coin selling for more money than a luxury house. Now, let me tell you a little story that proves how anyone can strike it rich with pennies. A buddy of mine, let's call him Mike, is one of those people who never carries cash. But one day, he went to a vending machine, put in a dollar bill, and got a handful of pennies as change. Normally, he would have just tossed them in a jar, but something caught his eye. One of the pennies looked a little off. It had a weird doubling effect on the date. Being the coin nerd that I am, he texted me a picture, and guess what? It was a double-die 2005 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Long story short, he took it to a collector, had it authenticated, and ended up selling it for $15,000. All from a vending machine penny. If that's not proof that checking your spare change is worth it, I don't know what is. Now, let's say you're convinced and ready to start checking every penny in sight. Here's what you need to do: look for doubling, off-center strikes, or unusual features. A magnifying glass or coin loop can help. The better shape your penny is in, the more it's worth. Coins in pristine condition fetch the highest prices. Don't just take your best guess, have a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC verify your penny. Rare coins sell best at auctions or through reputable coin dealers. Sites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, or Great Collections can connect you with serious buyers. So, what did we learn today? That a tiny, everyday penny can secretly be worth over $1 million. That checking your spare change could lead to life-changing money. And most importantly, that you should never underestimate the power of pocket change. Now, before you go running to dump out your piggy bank, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because I've got plenty more money-making coin tips coming your way. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, drop a comment below and let me know what's the most valuable coin you've ever found. Or if you're just starting, let me know which coin you're hunting for. Hey, everyone! Imagine this: you're digging through your couch cushions, looking for some spare change to buy a coffee, and bam, you find a penny. A regular old penny, right? Or so you think. What if I told you that same penny could actually be worth over $1 million? Yeah, you heard me right. A 1998 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, just a common-looking little coin, could secretly be a goldmine. I know, it sounds crazy. Who even pays attention to pennies anymore? Most of us just toss them in a jar or, let's be honest, ignore them completely. But trust me, after watching this video, you'll be checking every penny you come across because the one in your pocket might just be worth $1.1 million. So, grab your favorite snack, sit back, and let's dive into the fascinating world of rare pennies, secret treasures, and why this 1998 Lincoln penny is causing such a buzz in the coin collecting world. Alright, let's get something straight: this isn't just any 1998 penny. Most pennies have a small letter under the date, a mint mark, which tells us where it was made. If you see a D, it was made in Denver. An S means San Francisco. But this penny? No mint mark at all. And now, you might be thinking, okay, big deal, it's just missing a tiny letter. But in the world of coin collecting, missing details can mean big money. The absence of that mint mark makes this penny incredibly rare. And as any collector will tell you, rarity equals value. Here's where things get interesting. Back in 1998, the US Mint produced billions, yes, billions, of pennies. But somewhere in the chaos of production, a small batch of pennies left the mint without a mark. That shouldn't have happened. But it did. And now, those rogue pennies are basically the unicorns of the coin world. It's like finding an unopened bag of chips that somehow has extra chips inside. Super rare, super cool, and totally unexpected. Here's the deal: most 1998 pennies are just worth, well, 1 cent. You probably have a handful sitting in your car's cup holder right now. But experts estimate that only a few hundred of these no mint mark pennies exist, and because they're so hard to find, collectors are willing to pay big bucks to get their hands on one. In fact, one of these pennies was recently auctioned for $1.1 million. Imagine finding that in your pocket change. Alright, now here's where you grab that penny jar and start digging. If you want to know whether you're holding onto a jackpot, here's what to check: look under the year. If there's no small letter, you might be in business. The shinier, the better. Collectors love coins in mint condition. Some of these pennies also have slight misprints or doubling in the lettering. Extra errors can mean extra cash. Now, let me tell you something funny. A few years ago, I started getting into coin collecting, and I thought, okay, let's see if I have anything valuable. So, I grabbed a big jar of pennies I had been ignoring for years and went through them one by one. And let me tell you, it was exhausting, but just when I was about to give up, I found an old penny that looked different. I got excited, Googled it, and thought, this is it. I'm rich. It was worth about $3. Not exactly early retirement money. People actually do find rare coins like this all the time. And the fact that a tiny penny can be worth over $1 million? That's enough motivation to keep looking. Okay, let's say you actually find one of these pennies. First of all, congrats, you're basically a treasure hunter now. Second, you're probably wondering, how do I sell this thing for big money? You'll need an expert to verify that it's the real deal. Professional coin graders like PCGS or NGC can help. Rare coins sell for top dollar at auctions. Heritage auctions and Stacksbowers are good places to start. Sites like eBay or specialized coin forums can connect you with collectors, and remember, I know it sounds weird, but even a tiny scratch can lower its value. The 1998 no mint mark Lincoln penny is crazy rare and worth up to $1.1 million. It was an accident at the US Mint that created these valuable coins. Only a few hundred are known to exist, which makes them super collectible. If you have one, don't spend it, get it checked out. So, here's my challenge to you: go check your pennies. That jar of change sitting on your dresser? There could be $1 million penny hiding in there right now. And if you want more tips on valuable coins, secret collecting strategies, and how to turn pocket change into serious cash, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I post videos every week about rare coins, money-making finds, and the coolest stuff hiding in plain sight. And if you find a rare coin? Drop a comment and let me know. I'd love to hear your story. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. What if I told you that a simple, ordinary-looking penny, yes, the kind you find in couch cushions, under car seats, or at the bottom of your junk drawer, could be worth a life-changing amount of money? I'm talking about the 1971 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that some lucky collectors have sold for a jaw-dropping $1.20 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A single penny. Worth more than a mansion, a Lambo, or a lifetime supply of tacos. Now, before you start frantically checking your pockets, stick around because in today's video, we're diving into why this penny is so valuable, what makes it special, and how you might have one without even knowing it. Plus, I'll share a hilarious, and slightly embarrassing, story about my own coin hunting adventure that almost cost me a fortune. So, hit that like button, subscribe if you love money saving and money making tips, and let's get started. Alright, let's talk about the 1971 no mint mark Lincoln penny and what makes it such a hidden gem. First, a little history lesson, but don't worry, I promise this won't be like that boring class you barely stayed awake in back in school. In 1971, the US Mint produced pennies at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Normally, coins made in Denver have a D mint mark, and the ones from San Francisco have an S. But the ones made in Philadelphia? They had no mint mark at all. And now, here's where things get interesting. While most 1971 pennies are just your average 1-cent coins, a small number were struck with a rare mistake, either due to a special minting error, a rare metal composition, or simply being in flawless condition. And that's what makes these specific pennies insanely valuable. So, how do you know if your 1971 penny is worth a fortune or just, well, a penny? Here's what to check. First, look under the year. If there's a tiny D or S, sorry, but it's not the rare one. You need a penny with no mint mark at all. Some of these pennies were struck with double dyes, meaning the text or image looks slightly duplicated or blurry. If you see that? Jackpot! If your penny looks like it just came out of the mint yesterday, shiny, no scratches, no fingerprints, it could be worth serious money. Coin collectors go nuts for uncirculated coins. Here's the part that really blows people's minds. A regular, circulated 1971 no-mint mark penny is worth about 1 cent. Maybe a little more if it's in decent shape, but if you've got one of the rare error versions, or a penny in pristine condition, graded MS-67 or higher, you could be looking at anywhere from $10,000 to $1.20 million. Imagine finding a penny, thinking, cool, whatever, and then realizing you just casually held $1 million coin in your hand. And now, let me tell you about the time I almost threw away a valuable penny. And by almost, I mean I literally did. A while back, I was cleaning out my car, because let's be honest, we all let it turn into a disaster zone sometimes. I found a bunch of change in the cup holder and thought, just pennies, not even worth keeping. But something told me to take a second look. And guess what? There was a 1971 no-mint mark penny right there. I got excited, grabbed a magnifying glass, and checked for errors. It wasn't the $1 million version, but it was still worth about $200. I almost threw away $200. Moral of the story? Check your change, people. So, there you have it, the surprising value of the 1971 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. It might be sitting in your coin jar, hiding in plain sight, just waiting to make you rich. Check your pennies, look for those errors, and who knows? You could be the next lucky collector to cash in big. If you found this video helpful, or if you're now rating every penny stash in your house, give this video a thumbs up. And if you love learning about valuable coins and money-making strategies, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a tip. Alright, folks, let's talk about something that might just make you rich, or at least make you dig through that giant jar of pennies you've been ignoring for years. Imagine finding a single penny that could be worth $1.3 million. Yes, you heard me right, $1 million penny. Sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly what's happened with the 1996 Lincoln penny. This unassuming little copper piece has shocked collectors, and today, I'm going to tell you exactly why it's worth so much, what makes it special, and how you can check if you have one sitting in your pocket right now. So grab your loose change, and let's go on a treasure hunt. Now, let me take you back to 1996. Bill Clinton was president, the Macarena was taking over the world, and gas was $1.23 a gallon. Yeah, let that sink in. Meanwhile, the Denver Mint was busy churning out millions of Lincoln pennies, most of which were completely ordinary, but a few of them? They turned out to be absolute gold mines, and here's the kicker, most people have no idea they're holding onto something valuable. I actually learned about this coin the hard way. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale, digging through an old coffee can full of pennies. The guy running the sale said, "Take as many as you want, they're just pennies." And me, being the coin nerd that I am, took a handful just in case. Well, guess what? I gave away a 1996 penny without checking it first. Yep, let's all take a moment of silence for my lost fortune. Lesson learned: always check your pennies. So what makes the 1996 penny worth $1.3 million? Let's break it down. Some 1996 pennies have bizarre printing errors. Think off-center strikes, double dyes, or even the Holy Grail, a coin struck on the wrong planchet. If you find one with an error, you could be looking at a serious payday. Coins are graded on a scale of 1 to 70, with MS-67 and higher being the big moneymakers. If your 1996 penny is in pristine, mint condition, it could fetch hundreds of thousands, or even that $1.3 million mark. The Lincoln penny series is one of the most collected in the world. And when collectors go crazy over a rare find, the price skyrockets. Alright, so how do you know if your 1996 penny is the golden ticket? Here's what to do: if it doesn't have the D under the year, sorry, wrong coin. Tilt the coin in the light. Do the details look doubled? Off-center? Strange? If it looks like it was just minted yesterday, you might have hit the jackpot. So, now you know, the 1996 penny is way more than just spare change. It could literally change your life. If you've got one, get it checked by a professional grader ASAP. And even if you don't, this is why it's always worth taking a second look at your pocket change. Now, here's my challenge to you: go check your coins right now. Dig through your couch, check your car cup holder, And if you find anything interesting, let me know in the comments. And hey, if you love learning about valuable coins and how to turn pocket change into real money, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I've got plenty more coin hunting tips coming your way, and you don't want to miss out. Alright, picture this. You're digging through your couch cushions, hoping to find enough change for a coffee, and instead, you find an ordinary looking 2004 penny. You think, it's just a penny, right? Wrong. What if I told you that little copper coin could be worth a whopping $1.40 million? Yeah, you heard that right. Today, we're diving into the shocking world of valuable pennies, specifically the 2004 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. We'll cover why this penny is so valuable, what makes it rare, and most importantly, how you can check if you have one hiding in your pocket change. Plus, I'll throw in a personal story about the time I almost lost a valuable coin. Let's just say, it involved a vending machine and some serious regret. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at pennies the same way again. So, what makes this penny worth more than a brand new Lamborghini? It all comes down to a mix of rarity, minting errors, and collector demand. The 2004 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny wasn't supposed to be anything special, but a few odd variations turned it into a collector's dream. First off, the no-mint mark part is key. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, but certain 2004 pennies were struck with an unusual planchet error. This means the metal composition wasn't what it was supposed to be. Some of these coins were accidentally made using the wrong alloy, giving them a slightly different appearance and weight. If you've got a super sharp eye, or a good coin scale, this could be your first clue that you have something valuable. Alright, so let's say you've got a 2004 penny in your hand. How do you know if it's the $1 million kind or just a regular OL pennyworth? Well, a penny. If there's no little D or S under the date, you're on the right track. A normal penny should weigh about 2.5 grams, but some of these rare errors weigh slightly more or less due to the planchet mistake. Some of these rare pennies have an unusual shine or a slightly different hue compared to regular 2004 pennies. Look for doubled dies, off-center strikes, or weak lettering. These little imperfections can make a coin's value skyrocket. Speaking of mistakes, let me tell you about the time I almost lost a valuable coin. A few years ago, I was at a gas station, fumbling for change to buy a soda. I grabbed a handful of pennies, and one of them looked a little different. But I was in a rush, so I tossed it into the vending machine without thinking. Later that night, I saw a coin collecting video about rare pennies, and guess what? The one I had just spent looked exactly like one of the rare ones they were talking about. I spent the next 20 minutes trying to convince the gas station clerk to open up the vending machine. Spoiler alert, he did not let me. Lesson learned: always check your change before you spend it. Now, here's where it gets really crazy. In top condition, one of these rare 2004 no-mint Mark Lincoln pennies sold at auction for an unbelievable $1.4 million. Why? Because serious collectors are always on the hunt for unique, one-of-a-kind errors. Think about it, there are billions of pennies out there, but only a handful of these rare errors exist. The combination of scarcity, historical significance, and sheer demand is what drives prices up. So if you find one, don't spend it on a soda like I did, get it checked out by a professional. Alright, so what did we learn today? That tiny copper coins can be worth a fortune, that checking your pocket change might just make you a millionaire, and that I should never be trusted around vending machines. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins hiding in plain sight, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I post regular videos about rare coins, valuable finds, and smart collecting strategies, so don't miss out. And hey, if you've ever found a rare coin, or almost lost one like me, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories. Hey everyone! Have you ever checked your spare change and thought, just pennies? Well, what if I told you one of those pennies could be worth more than a brand new sports car? Or even a house? Yeah, today, we're talking about a 1978 Lincoln penny that recently sold for $1.5 million. You heard that right, a single penny. Now, before you go flipping over your couch cushions looking for one, stick with me. We'll break down exactly why this penny is so valuable, how to tell if you have one, and what makes it worth life-changing money. Plus, I've got a crazy story about how I once overlooked a valuable coin and totally regretted it. So, let's jump in. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1978 Lincoln penny was minted in Denver. That's what the little d under the date stands for. Millions of these were made, so most of them are only worth, well, a penny. But some rare ones? They're like hitting the jackpot. So, what makes this particular 1978 D penny worth $1.5 million? It comes down to a minting error. You see, mistakes happen even at the US Mint. And when they do, collectors go nuts. Some rare pennies from this year were accidentally struck on a leftover silver planchet instead of copper, making them incredibly rare. If you find one of these, congratulations, you might just be holding onto a small fortune. Another thing to look out for is double die errors. This happens when the coin gets stamped twice, slightly off, creating a weird shadow effect on the lettering or Lincoln's face. If your 1978 D penny has this, you could be looking at thousands, if not millions, of dollars. Now, you're probably wondering, how do I check if I have one? Simple. Grab a magnifying glass, or your phone camera, let's be real, and check for the rare silver-struck pennies are lighter than normal ones. A regular penny weighs about 3.11 grams, while a silver one is around 2.5 grams. If it looks more silver than copper, you might have something special. Look closely at the letters and Lincoln's profile. If they seem doubled or have an outline, you're in luck. Now, here's a little personal story. A few years ago, I found an old penny in my car's cup holder. It looked weird, kind of shinier than usual. I shrugged, tossed it into a tip jar at a coffee shop, and went about my day. Later, I learned that particular penny, a rare misprint from the 1970s, was worth over $10,000. Yep, I basically tipped my barista a car payment. Moral of the story? Always check your change. Now, if you think you have a valuable 1978 D penny, don't spend it. First, get it checked out by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can verify its authenticity and grade it. Even if it's not the jackpot $1.5 million version, some rare 1978 D pennies still sell for thousands. Alright, folks, time to go treasure hunting. Check your piggy banks, your pockets, that random coin jar in your kitchen. Who knows, you might just be sitting on $1 million penny. And hey, if you love discovering hidden gems in your pocket change, make sure to subscribe to this channel. We're always digging into the world of valuable coins, rare finds, and money-making strategies. Hit that like button, share this with a friend, and let me know in the comments what's the coolest coin you've ever found. Alright, coin lovers, buckle up. Today, we're diving into one of the biggest surprises in the world of coin collecting, the 1985 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. You might have one of these just sitting in your change jar, completely unaware that it could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.60 million. Yes, you heard that right. A penny worth more than a mansion, a sports car collection, or a lifetime supply of tacos. Imagine paying for your coffee with a penny and later realizing you basically tipped your barista a fortune. Ouch! In this video, we'll uncover what makes this particular penny so valuable, what key features to look for, and how you can check if you're sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. Plus, I'll share a personal story about how I almost spent a valuable penny without realizing it until a random stranger saved me. True story, so stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at your spare change the same way again. Let's get into it. Alright, let's start with the basics. In 1985, the US Mint produced Lincoln pennies in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Normally, pennies made in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark. That's common. So why is this particular penny so valuable? Well, not all 1985 no mint mark pennies are created equal. Some of them have a rare error or a special high-grade condition that makes collectors go wild. Where the design looks slightly doubled, especially in Liberty and the date, which happens due to a minting anomaly, meaning no scratches, no dings, just pure perfection. These tiny details can take a regular 1-cent coin and turn it into a six-figure treasure. And now, let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I was at a gas station, grabbing a snack. I pulled out some change to pay, and as I handed over a penny, the guy behind me gasped. Like, full-on dramatic gasp. He leans in and says, "Hey, you might want to check that penny." Now, I'm thinking, oh great, another conspiracy theorist about secret codes in coins. But nope, he was actually a collector. He pointed out some strange doubling on the letters, and long story short, that penny turned out to be worth over $5,000. Not quite $1.6 million, but still way more than my bag of chips. That moment changed everything for me. Since then, I check every single penny before spending it. Lesson learned: never underestimate pocket change. So, now that you know these pennies can be insanely valuable, here's how to check if you have one. Grab a magnifying glass or use your phone camera and zoom in. If the letters "in Liberty" or "in God We Trust" look blurry or doubled, jackpot. If it looks extra polished, it might be a rare proof-like strike. If you think you have a valuable one, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to verify its authenticity. You might be wondering, who in their right mind is paying over $1 million for a penny? Well, coin collectors are a passionate bunch. Rare coins are like fine art. People love owning a piece of history, especially if it's one of a kind. And when a coin has an unusual error or a rare striking mistake, it becomes even more desirable. Plus, there's the simple fact that supply and demand rule the world. There aren't many perfect condition 1985 no mint mark pennies with these rare errors left, which makes them ultra-valuable. So, next time you get a handful of change, don't just shove it in your pocket or leave it in your car's cup holder. You might be tossing away a fortune. Now, I've got a challenge for you. Go check your pennies right now. Seriously, pause this video, grab your spare change, and take a closer look. Who knows? You might be sitting on a $1.6 million coin and not even realize it. And if you found this video helpful, or just want to make sure you never accidentally spend a rare penny, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I post videos like this all the time, helping you spot valuable coins that could be hiding in plain sight. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this, and let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're going to start checking your change from now on. Hey, coin hunters! Have you ever found a penny in your pocket and thought, "Meh, just another penny"? Well, let me tell you, that little copper coin might just be worth a life-changing amount of money. And today, we're talking about a very specific one, the 2020 Lincoln penny, which has shockingly hit a value of $1.70 million. Yeah, you heard that right, $1.7 million. And the craziest part? You might already have one sitting in a jar, in your car cup holder, or even stuck between your couch cushions. So, grab your coin stash, get comfy, and let's dive into why this penny is turning regular folks into millionaires overnight. Now, we all know that most pennies are, well, pennies. But what makes the 2020 so special? It all comes down to rarity, errors, and collector demand. The Denver Mint produced millions of these pennies, but only a handful have the unique traits that drive their value sky high. And trust me, coin collectors are practically losing their minds over these rare finds. There are a few key things that make a 2020 penny worth big bucks. Some of these pennies were struck with a dramatic die crack, giving Lincoln a little scar on his head. Collectors call it the crown error, and it's insanely rare. If the lettering on the front looks slightly doubled, congratulations! You might just have a jackpot penny. Some 2020 pennies were accidentally misaligned when struck, making them look super weird. The more off-center, the higher the value. If your penny looks fresh out of the mint, with no scratches or signs of circulation, you're sitting on a potential goldmine. Now, if you have a 2020 penny with one or more of these features, stop what you're doing, because that bad boy could be worth a fortune. A few months ago, I was at my favorite coffee shop, digging for change because I didn't want to break a $20 bill. I pulled out a few pennies, glanced at them, and was about to hand them over when something caught my eye. One had a weird-looking mark near Lincoln's head. At first, I thought, whatever. But then, something in me said, hold up, check that out later. So, I kept it. Later that night, I looked it up, and guess what? It was one of the rare crown error 2020 pennies. I had almost spent a potential six-figure penny on a latte. Imagine that. Moral of the story? Always check your change. You never know when your next coffee run could turn into $1 million payday. Okay, so how did we get to that jaw-dropping $1.7 million figure? One pristine, error-filled 2020 penny recently sold at auction for over $1.5 million, sparking a massive hunt among collectors. Prices keep climbing as more people realize how rare these coins are. Even lower-grade versions with minor errors are selling for thousands. The demand is insane. Coin dealers, collectors, and even casual treasure hunters are snatching these up. If you have one, get it checked by a professional coin grader ASAP. It could be your ticket to an early retirement. We've learned that not all pennies are worthless, some can literally be worth millions. The 2020 Lincoln penny is a perfect example of why you should always check your coins before spending them. So, if you're holding onto a jar of pennies, now's the time to go on a treasure hunt. Who knows? You might just have the next $1 million coin in your collection. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on valuable coins, hit that subscribe button. I'll be bringing you more crazy stories, expert strategies, and hidden gems that could be sitting in your pocket right now. Hey there, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and everyone who just loves the thrill of finding hidden gems in their pocket change. Imagine this: you're digging through an old coin jar, looking for some spare change to grab a snack, when suddenly, you spot a 1973 Lincoln penny. No big deal, right? It's just a penny. But what if I told you that this little copper coin could be worth up to $1.8 million? Yep, you heard that right, one single penny, potentially worth more than a mansion. Now, before you start flipping over every penny in your house, stick around because today, we're diving deep into the surprising value of the 1973 Lincoln penny, what makes it so special, and how you can tell if you have a fortune hiding in plain sight. Plus, I'll share a personal story about a time I nearly threw away a valuable coin. Yep, almost made $1 million mistake. So grab your magnifying glass, maybe a cup of coffee, and let's talk coins. Alright, first things first, what's so special about the 1973 Lincoln penny? After all, pennies are one of the most common coins in circulation. Well, not all pennies are created equal, my friends. Some have tiny details, minting errors, or rare characteristics that make them worth way more than their face value. The 1973 Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, as the D mint mark suggests. That year, the US Mint struck billions of pennies, so, at first glance, it doesn't seem like anything rare, right? But as we all know, when it comes to coins, it's the details that matter. One of the biggest reasons why certain 1973 pennies are selling for insane amounts is due to errors and high-grade conditions. If you've got a rare error variety or a penny in nearly flawless condition, you could be sitting on a gold mine, well, a copper mine, technically. And now, let's talk about the big one, the 1973 penny that sold for $1.8 million. What made it so special? Minting errors. Some 1973 pennies have striking errors, such as doubled dies or off-center strikes. If your penny has a noticeable design flaw, you might be in luck. A regular penny from 1973 might be worth just a cent, but one graded MS67 or higher, meaning it's in almost perfect condition, could be worth thousands, if not millions. Some 1973 pennies were accidentally struck on a bronze planchet, rather than the usual copper-clad zinc. This mistake is what made one particular penny so valuable, and get this, the most valuable 1973 penny ever sold wasn't found in a fancy collection. Nope. It was sitting in someone's loose change. Okay, so now you're probably staring at your change jar wondering, do I have $1 million penny? Here's how to find out. If there's no D, it's not the Denver Mint version, which means you can move on to the next one. Check for anything unusual, like misalignment, doubling in the letters, or anything that just seems off. If you have a small digital scale, weigh your penny. A standard 1973 penny should weigh 3.11 grams. If it's significantly different, you could have a rare variant. If you think your penny might be valuable, send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. A high-grade, rare error coin could be worth life-changing money. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my car and found a handful of old pennies stuck between the seats. Most were covered in dust and soda stains, don't judge me, so I was about to toss them. But then, something told me to check them first. Sure enough, one of those pennies was from 1972, and it had a very noticeable double die error worth a few $1,000s. I was this close, holds fingers an inch apart, to chucking money straight into the trash. That experience taught me two things: always check your coins before spending them, and never clean them, because cleaning a rare coin can actually lower its value. So now, every time I get change, I do a quick scan before tossing it in the jar. Who knows, maybe the next time I find a 1973 penny, it'll be the one worth $1.80 million. Alright, my fellow treasure hunters, now you know why the 1973 Lincoln penny is making headlines and why you should definitely check your change, weigh your penny for rare planchet mistakes, and if you think you've got something valuable, get it professionally graded. Who knew something as small as a penny could be worth more than a Ferrari? But that's the fun of coin collecting. You never know when a tiny piece of history might turn into a massive payday. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins worth serious money, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out. I post regular tips on valuable coins, collecting strategies, and how to spot hidden treasures in your pocket change. And before you go, drop a comment below. What's the coolest or most valuable coin you've ever found? Let's hear those stories. Hey everyone! Have you ever found a penny on the ground and thought, it's just a penny? Well, today, I might just change the way you look at every single cent you ever come across. Because believe it or not, there's a 1995 Lincoln penny out there, no mint mark, that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny. A little copper coin that most people wouldn't even bother picking up, and the craziest part? You might have one sitting in your pocket, your piggy bank, or even that random junk drawer we all have at home. You know, the one where loose change, old batteries, and about 15 mystery keys live rent-free. But before you go flipping over every penny you own, stick with me. In this video, we're diving deep into what makes this 1995 penny so valuable, how to check if you have one, and what you can do if you strike it rich. Plus, I'll share a hilarious story about the time I almost cashed in big on a rare coin only to make a rookie mistake that still haunts me to this day. Alright, so why is a 1995 penny, something that was literally worth just 1 cent, now valued at $1.2 million? It all comes down to errors and rarity. First off, the 1995 no mint mark penny comes from the Philadelphia Mint, which didn't include a mint mark. That part's normal. What's not normal is that some of these pennies were struck with a major doubling error, known as a double die obverse translation. The lettering on the front of the coin, especially in the words Liberty and In God We Trust, appears slightly doubled. This isn't damage from wear and tear, it's a legitimate minting error that collectors go absolutely bonkers for, and here's the kicker, not every 1995 penny has this doubling. That's what makes it rare. It's like finding a 4-leaf clover in a field of 3-leaf ones, except in this case, that clover could buy you a house. Grab a magnifying glass or do the classic squint and hope for the best method. If the words Liberty and In God We Trust look slightly doubled, you might be in business. Sometimes, the doubling isn't super obvious at first glance. A bright light can help reveal those tiny details. If you have another penny from the same year, compare them side by side. If yours looks like it's got a shadow effect on the letters, that's a good sign. If you think you've got a winner, don't just list it on eBay for $10 and call it a day. Take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify if it's the real deal and give it an official grade. And now, let me tell you a quick story about how I almost had a major coin score, but totally messed it up. A few years ago, I was going through some old coins my grandpa gave me. He was one of those people who saved every bit of change like it was treasure. And sure enough, I found a 1995 penny with some weird doubling on the letters. I got so excited. I was already planning my dream vacation. But before I took it to get appraised, I made the ultimate rookie mistake. I cleaned it. Yep. Scrubbed it. Polished it. Big mistake. Turns out, coin collectors love the original, untouched look. That little cleaning spree? It dropped the value to almost nothing. Instead of a life-changing payout, I basically ended up with a shiny, worthless penny. So, here's the big takeaway, always check your change. That 1995 penny in your pocket could be worth more than a Lamborghini. You never know when you'll come across a rare coin that could change your life. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about hidden treasures in your pocket, hit that subscribe button. I post videos all about valuable coins, what to look for, and how to turn your spare change into serious cash. And hey, let me know in the comments, have you ever found a rare coin or made a big mistake like I did? I'd love to hear your stories. Hey, coin lovers! Have you ever found a random penny on the ground and thought, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that one tiny little coin, specifically a 1952 Lincoln penny, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million? Yeah, you heard that right. That's enough to buy a house, a dream car, and still have some left over for a lifetime supply of coffee. So before you toss that penny in a tip jar, stick around because today, we're diving into why this coin is so valuable, what makes it special, and how you can spot one in your own pocket change. But first, if you're new here, welcome to the channel where we talk about coins that could make you rich. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any hidden treasures in your loose change. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, first things first, why is a 1952 Lincoln penny even valuable? I mean, it's just a regular old penny, right? Well, not exactly. This little copper beauty was minted in San Francisco, hence the S mint mark, during a time when pennies were still made mostly of copper. Unlike today's pennies, which are mostly zinc with a thin copper coating, these had a solid copper composition, making them stand out. Now, the real kicker is that some of these pennies were struck with errors, low mintage numbers, or unique variations that collectors are willing to pay big money for. And when I say big money, I mean more than some people's annual salary on a single penny. That you're probably thinking, okay, but why this penny? What makes it so special? Great question. Let's break it down. Some of these pennies have misprints, double dies, or repunched mint marks. A rare error can easily skyrocket the price from a couple of bucks to 6 or even 7 figures. A penny straight out of 1952 that still looks brand new, meaning no scratches, dirt, or wear, can sell for an insane price at auctions. We're talking thousands or even millions of dollars for one in top-tier condition. The coin collecting world is wild. Some collectors will pay a fortune to get their hands on an ultra-rare version of this penny. Think of it like baseball cards, some are just worth more than others. Because these coins are scarce, the demand far outweighs the supply, which means, cha-ching. Prices go up, alright, so now you're probably itching to check your piggy bank, your couch cushions, or even that jar of pennies in your kitchen. But how do you know if you have a 1952 penny worth a fortune? Here's what to look for. A second, look for the S mint mark, it should be right under the year. Third, inspect it for errors. Is the lettering doubled? Is the mint mark repunched? If it's shiny, crisp, and barely touched, you might be sitting on a gold mine. Well, a copper mine. Alright, story time. So, a while back, I was helping my grandma clean out her old junk drawer, you know, the one where random batteries, rubber bands, and mystery keys go to die. As I was sorting through some old coins, I found a super shiny Lincoln penny. At first, I thought, cool, but it's just a penny, right? 1952s. My heart almost stopped. I grabbed my magnifying glass, yes, I have one, don't judge me, and noticed something weird, a double die error. Turns out that one random penny was worth thousands. Moral of the story? So, there you have it. A humble little 1952s Lincoln penny could be worth more than a Lamborghini if it has the right features. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone looking for an easy payday, it's always worth checking your pennies before spending them. Go through your old coins and see if you have a 1952s penny hiding somewhere. And if you do? Well, let's just say you might be making a trip to the bank very soon. Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more money-making coin tips. I've got tons of videos on valuable pennies, nickels, and other coins that could make you rich. Drop a comment below if you've ever found an old coin and let me know what the craziest coin you've ever discovered was. Hey, coin hunters! Have you ever found a penny on the ground and thought, just a penny? Well, what if I told you that one little Lincoln cent could be worth $1.40 million? Yeah, you heard that right. A single 1997 Lincoln penny might just make you a millionaire. Imagine buying a soda with a penny and getting back a yacht in change. Sounds crazy, right? Well, today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of valuable pennies, specifically the 1997 Lincoln penny that has collectors losing their minds and emptying their piggy banks. We'll break down why this coin is worth so much, how you can spot one, and most importantly, how you can cash in if you find one. So, if you've got a jar of pennies sitting somewhere collecting dust, you might want to grab it because one of them could change your life. Now, before we get to the jaw-dropping reason this penny is worth a fortune, let me tell you a quick story. A friend of mine, let's call him Jake, was going through his loose change one day. You know, just your average, let's see if I can afford a coffee kind of situation. He had a mix of quarters, nickels, and a whole lot of pennies. But as he was about to dump them into a Coinstar machine, he remembered something I told him: always check your pennies, man. You never know what you've got. So, he humored me and took a second look. And there it was, a 1997 Lincoln penny. At first, he thought, big deal, it's just another penny. But after checking online, he nearly passed out. That one little coin? Potentially worth $1.4 million. Let's just say, he didn't need that Coinstar machine anymore. So, what makes this 1997 penny so valuable? Let's break it down. First off, the D stands for Denver Mint, meaning this penny was struck in Colorado. While millions of these pennies were made, only a few have a rare error that makes them worth serious cash. The big reason this penny is so valuable? It's got a major minting error. Some of these pennies were accidentally struck on the wrong planchet, a blank metal disc meant for a different coin. Instead of the usual copper-plated zinc, these rare 1997 D pennies were struck on bronze planchets left over from older coin production. This mistake resulted in a different weight, color, and even a slightly different feel when you hold it. If you have one, you're sitting on a gold mine, well, a bronze mine, but you get the idea. So, how do you know if you've got one of these $1,000,000 pennies? Here's what to look for. A regular 1997 D penny weighs about 2.5 grams, but the rare one? It's heavier, around 3.1 grams. If your penny has a richer, deeper brownish color compared to the standard reddish hue, that's a clue. If you drop it on a hard surface, it might sound slightly different than a normal penny. Okay, maybe that's more for the serious collectors, but hey, every trick helps. Regular pennies aren't magnetic, but if your 1997 D sticks to a magnet, it's time to celebrate. So, you've checked your penny and it looks promising. What's next? Please, for the love of Lincoln, do not use it to buy gum. Get it checked by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC to confirm its authenticity. If you do have the real deal, auctions are the best way to get top dollar. Heritage auctions and Stacksbowers are great places to start. So, there you have it, folks. The 1997 D Lincoln penny, small in size, huge in value. If you've got one, you could be looking at life-changing money. And even if you don't find one today, now you know what to look for. Before you go, make sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe for more tips on coins worth money and strategies to spot valuable hidden treasures in your pocket change. Trust me, you don't want to miss the next big find. And hey, if you do find a rare penny, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your story, and maybe we can celebrate your new millionaire status together. Hey there, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Have you ever found a penny and thought, this is just 1 cent, totally worthless? Well, what if I told you that a 1969 D Lincoln penny, yes, that little copper coin you might have sitting in a jar or lost in your couch, could be worth a mind-blowing $1.5 million? Yep, you heard that right. $1.5 million. That's not just pocket change, that's life-changing money. And today, we're diving deep into what makes this humble penny so valuable, what to look for, and how to tell if you're sitting on a gold mine without even knowing it. But first, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at my grandma's house, helping her clean up. She had this old jar of pennies, and being the coin nerd I am, I started sifting through them. She laughed and said, "Honey, it's just pennies." What, are you gonna pay off your student loans with that? Fast forward to today, and I wish I had taken those pennies a little more seriously. Because one of those could have been a 1969 D worth of fortune. So, grab your coffee, your lucky penny, and let's talk about how you might be unknowingly holding onto a $1,000,000 coin. Alright, so let's get straight to the juicy part. Why in the world is this penny so valuable? First, the 1969 D Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint. That's what the little d under the year stands for. Now, most of these pennies are just regular, run-of-the-mill cents. But here's where it gets exciting, some of them have a rare and unusual doubling effect on the lettering and date. This is known as a double die error, and collectors go absolutely nuts over these. Imagine this, the word Liberty in the year 1969 looking slightly blurry or duplicated, almost like the coin had too much coffee while being made. That tiny mistake? That's what turns this penny from being worth a single cent to being worth over $1 million. So, let's say you rush over to your piggy bank right after this video, which, by the way, I totally recommend doing. How do you know if your 1969 D penny is special? Here's what to check. If the letters look thick, doubled, or slightly shadowed, you might have a jackpot. If the numbers appear doubled, you're in business. This is another area where doubling can occur. If the Denver Mint mark is also doubled, unfortunately, it's just machine doubling, and not the valuable kind. And before you start celebrating, don't clean your coin. Ever. I repeat, do not scrub it, polish it, or take a Brillo pad to it. Collectors want coins in their natural, untouched state. Cleaning it will actually lower the value, and trust me, you don't want to turn a $1 million penny into a $5 penny, okay? Let's talk money. How much can you actually get for one of these? A verified 1969 D double die penny in good condition has sold for $1.5 million at auction. Even lesser grade ones have fetched hundreds of thousands of dollars. Imagine walking into a coin shop with a random penny and walking out a millionaire. And even if you don't find the rare double die version, some regular 1969 D pennies in mint condition can still sell for $50 to $100. Not as exciting as $1.5 million, but hey, it's still better than a single cent. Let's say you've checked your pennies and you think you've hit the jackpot, what now? The first thing you need to do is send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll certify it and tell you how much it's worth. Coins like this are best sold at high-end auctions like heritage auctions or Stacksbauers, where collectors will bid like crazy. Websites like eBay or Great Collections can be an option, but for $1 million coin, you probably want a professional broker, and please, don't sell it to the first guy who offers you $500 at a flea market. That's like trading a winning lottery ticket for a used toaster, alright? So let's recap. If you have a 1969 D Lincoln penny, check for doubling on Liberty, the date, and in God we trust. If you find a true double die error, you might be looking at a $1.5 million payday. And now, I have to ask, are you already digging through your couch cushions? Because I totally would be. In fact, go grab every penny you can find and start checking. Who knows, maybe you'll be the next big story in the coin collecting world. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on finding valuable coins, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and drop a comment below letting me know if you've ever found an interesting coin. Who knows, your next lucky penny could be hiding in plain sight. Hey, what's up, everyone? Have you ever found a penny in your pocket and thought, just another penny? Well, what if I told you that one specific penny, the 2000 D Lincoln penny, could be worth up to $1.6 million? Yeah, you heard me right. A single little copper-coated coin, the same one you probably walked past on the sidewalk this morning, could be hiding a fortune now. I know what you're thinking, come on, a 2000 D penny? That's barely older than my flip phone from middle school. But trust me, this isn't just any penny. It's a rare, valuable, and downright mind-blowing collector's item. So, grab your change jar, start digging through those couch cushions, and let's dive into what makes this coin so insanely valuable. Oh, and if you've ever accidentally spent a rare coin without realizing its worth, stick around because I've got a personal story that will make you double-check every penny from now on, alright? So let's get to the good stuff. What's the deal with this 2000 D penny? It's not made of gold, it wasn't used by Abraham Lincoln himself, and it doesn't have a secret treasure map on the back. But what it does have is rarity and error factors that make collectors go crazy. You see, most 2000 D pennies are worth, well, a penny. But a small batch had major minting errors that turned them into collector's gold. Some of these errors include, this means Lincoln's face or the text on the coin is slightly doubled, making it a rare misprint. If you find one where the design is slightly shifted, you're in luck. Some 2000 D pennies were struck on older metal planchets, making them even rarer. Combine these errors with a low survival rate in pristine condition, and boom, you've got a coin worth six figures. Now, before you start planning your dream vacation with that $1.6 million, you need to know how to spot one of these rare pennies. Here's what to do. First, check for the D mint mark under the year 2000. If there's no mint mark, sorry, that's not the one. Next, grab a magnifying glass, yes, like a detective, and look closely at the letters and Lincoln's face. If you see any doubling, congratulations, you might have a jackpot. If your coin looks off-center or has a strange texture, that could also be a sign. Finally, if you really think you've got the holy grail of pennies, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to get it certified. Trust me, you don't want to be the person who accidentally spends $1 million penny on a bag of chips. Speaking of spending rare coins, let me tell you about the time I unknowingly gave away a valuable penny. A few years ago, I found an old, slightly weird-looking penny while cleaning out my car. I thought, meh, just another beat-up penny, and I used it to buy gum at a gas station. Fast forward to a month later, I learned that that exact kind of penny was selling for thousands of dollars. Thousands. I went back to that gas station like a crazy person, asking the cashier if they still had my penny. Spoiler alert, they did not. And that, my friends, is the moment I started checking every single penny I ever touched, alright? So let's talk money. Right now, a 2000 D Lincoln penny with a rare error in top condition is going for up to $1.6 million at auctions. Even if yours isn't in perfect shape, you could still walk away with a few $1,000s. Not bad for a penny, right? If you think you have one, here's where to sell it. eBay, heritage auctions, and Great Collections are great places to start. some local dealers might buy it instantly. A perfect place to meet collectors who are ready to spend big. Get it certified to prove its worth before selling. The key is to get it graded first so buyers know it's legit. That's how you maximize your payday, the 2000D Lincoln penny that could change your life. Who knew that a simple, everyday penny could be worth more than a Lamborghini? Now, before you go running to check your piggy bank, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. If you love learning about hidden treasures in your pocket change, I've got plenty more surprises coming your way, and hey, drop a comment below, what's the coolest or oldest coin you've ever found? I love hearing your stories. Alright, that's it for today, good luck hunting for that $1 million penny, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey there, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and everyone who's ever emptied their pockets and thought, could this penny make me rich? Well, today, I've got a story that might just make you check your loose change a little more carefully, because hiding in plain sight is a little brown coin from 1981 that, brace yourself, is worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, not some fancy gold doubloon or a rare silver dollar, but a plain old 1-cent piece from 1981. Now, I know what you're thinking, come on, a penny? For $1 million? But trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be digging through every couch cushion, old piggy bank, and junk drawer in your house. So, grab a snack, get comfy, and let's talk about how one of the most common pennies ever made turned into a collector's dream. Oh, and stick around till the end, because I'm sharing my own personal lost treasure story that'll make you double-check your spare change. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny was minted in Philadelphia, which, back then, didn't mark its coins with a letter. So, if you flip over a penny from 1981 and don't see a little D for Denver or S for San Francisco, congratulations, you're holding a no-mint mark penny. Now, normally, these pennies are just that, pennies. You spend them, you lose them in your car's cup holder, and nobody cares. But here's where it gets interesting. There's a special error version of the 1981 no-mint mark penny that makes it extremely valuable. Some of these pennies were struck on the wrong planchet, meaning instead of using the standard copper-coated zinc mix, they were accidentally minted on pure copper, just like the older coins from before 1982. Why is this a big deal? Well, starting in 1982, the US Mint switched from mostly copper pennies to zinc ones, which saved money but also made the coins way less durable. If you have a 1981 no-mint mark penny that was struck on the old copper planchet, you've got something rare. And now, let's talk value. A regular 1981 penny? Worth a cent. Maybe a couple of bucks in pristine condition. But one of these ultra-rare error pennies? They've sold at auctions for up to $1.70 million. Why? Because coin collectors love mistakes. Seriously, the only time in life when messing up at work makes something more valuable is if you're working at the US Mint. Imagine you're some overworked employee in 1981, just trying to get through another day stamping out pennies, and whoops, you grabbed the wrong batch of metal. Fast forward 40 years, and your little mistake is making someone a millionaire. And now, before you get too excited and quit your job to hunt pennies full-time, there are a few things you need to check to see if you have the $1 million version. Regular 1981 pennies should weigh about 2.5 grams, but the rare copper planchet ones weigh 3.1 grams. So, if your penny is feeling a little heavier than usual, it might just be the jackpot. Some error coins have a shinier, slightly different hue compared to normal 1981 pennies. If yours looks oddly bright, that's another good sign. Don't just take a wild guess. Serious collectors send their pennies to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC to get certified. If you really think you've got one, get it graded. That's how you unlock that $1 million payday. And now, let me tell you a quick personal story that proves you never know what's hiding in your pocket change. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my grandpa's old desk. He had a huge coffee can full of pennies just sitting there, collecting dust. I almost dumped them into a coin counting machine, but at the last second, I thought, why not check a few? Wouldn't you know it? Right there in the middle was a 1943 steel penny. Not worth millions, but definitely a few $100. And that moment made me a believer in checking every single coin. So, next time you get some change back at the store, don't just toss it aside. Your next $1 million penny could be staring right at you. Alright, folks, that's the wild story of the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Who knew that a tiny little coin could be worth more than a Lamborghini? But hey, that's the magic of coin collecting. One small mistake can turn into a huge fortune. Look for that no mint mark, weigh it if you can, and don't underestimate that old change jar sitting in your house. And if you enjoyed this video and want more crazy coin stories, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I post regular videos on coins worth money, collecting strategies, and hidden treasures that might just be in your pocket right now. Also, drop a comment below. What's the coolest or most valuable coin you have ever found? Let's hear those treasure hunting stories. Hey, coin hunters! Have you ever found a penny on the ground and thought, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that a simple, everyday penny from 2006, yes, a 2006 Lincoln penny, could be worth a whopping $1.8 million? That's right, $1.8 million. Imagine trying to pay for your morning coffee with that and the barista just casually drops it in the tip jar. Now, before you go digging through your couch cushions or flipping over every penny in your piggy bank, let's break down what makes this particular coin so special. Buckle up, because today, we're diving into the shocking world of rare pennies and why this one is turning heads in the coin collecting community. Okay, so we know the 2006 penny exists, but why is this one worth a small fortune? The D mint mark means it was minted in Denver, which produced billions of these pennies. So, why is one selling for more than a luxury house? Simple, rare errors and ultra-rare conditions. There are a few factors that make this penny so valuable. Some of these pennies were struck on the wrong metal planchet, giving them a slightly different weight and color. This means some letters or details on the coin appear doubled because of a misalignment during the striking process. If you notice an extra thick Liberty or In God We Trust, you might be onto something big. If Lincoln's face looks like he's trying to escape the coin, that could be a jackpot error. If your penny looks like it just came from the mint, with zero scratches or wear, collectors will pay top dollar for it. Let me tell you about the time I almost gave away a valuable penny. A few years ago, I was at the grocery store, and my total came to something like $20.02. I reached into my pocket, grabbed a couple of pennies, and handed them over. The cashier looked at one of them and said, "Hey, this one looks different." I laughed and said, "Yeah, it's still only worth a cent." Fast forward a few weeks, and I see an article about a 2006 penny selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars. My heart sank. I raced back to the store, hoping by some miracle that my penny was still floating around in the register, but no luck. Could I have just handed over a fortune for a bag of groceries? Maybe. Moral of the story, always check your change before giving it away. As of now, a high-grade, error-filled 2006 penny has been auctioned off for $1.8 million. Yes, that's real money, not Monopoly cash. If you're wondering if your 2006 penny is special, here's what to do: look for doubling, off-centering, or unusual colors. Some rare versions are slightly heavier or lighter than a normal penny. If you think you have a winner, send it to a professional coin grading service.so. The next time someone tells you it's just a penny, hit M with the fun fact that one just sold for nearly $2 million. Who's laughing now? But hey, don't stop here. If you love the idea of finding hidden treasures in your pocket change, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We've got plenty more videos on rare coins, money-making strategies, and wild stories from the world of coin collecting. And before you go, let me know in the comments, what's the most interesting or weird coin you've ever found? You never know, you might be sitting on a fortune and not even realize it.